What is this thing? A status symbol for jet setters suffering carbon footprint anxiety? The ultimate green driver coaching machine? A charity project for assuaging corporate guilt? After a morning spent driving it down out of a cold, damp, snowy Bavarian Alp, the mission of this latest BMW high-performance plug-in hybrid is still a little unclear to me. What is clear is that BMW is serious about casting this car as a planet savior. Just get a load of this line from the press kit. Its exemplary environmental credentials have been recognized in the form of ISO certification by the tough Rhineland inspection authorities. That regulatory testing body apparently studied the life cycle of the 530e, from extraction of raw materials, to assembly, to lifetime usage, to recycling, in order to holistically assess its global warming potential. The verdict, according to ISO 14040 and 14044 standards, after 155,000 miles of use, the 530e will have been 15% gentler on Mother Earth than your neighbor's 530i. And that's presuming you always plug into the German national grid. That percentage increases to 47 if your plug only connects to renewable electricity. This self-identifying car geek can vouch for its credentials as a green driving coach, thanks to the high degree of customization offered by the reconfigurable dash and center display screens. Coaching assists include a little arrow pointing up at a foot in the cluster and head-up display admonishing you to back off the throttle when the car senses a turn coming, when you're hot-footing it too hard, or if you're probing the 146 miles per hour top speed. Center screen pages awards 1 to 5 stars based on how gently the driver accelerates and anticipates slowdowns and presents loads of info on consumption, power flow, power used by various systems, etc. The instrument cluster transforms as you toggle through the various drive modes. The default is EcoPro with a separate eDrive selector in Auto eDrive. This prioritizes electric drive, but engages the engine as needed to approximate 530i levels of responsiveness. This screen features a speedometer and a recharge-discharge power use meter that indicates accelerator position. It also shows the point at which the engine will kick in, which varies with conditions, but seemed to usually be around 40%. The Max eDrive mode prioritizes electric propulsion, firing the engine only if you floor the accelerator past its kickdown switch. The power meter indicates of 60% throttle max, but that just means you'll have to kick it down if you need more than 60% of total performance. Top speed is 87 miles per hour, and range is claimed at 31 miles in EV mode, but finally PA range testing is not complete. A battery control mode directs the powertrain to preserve and/or use the engine to recharge the battery to a state of charge that you can specify. Comfort mode turns all the gauges white and still indicates accelerator position, with a boost appearing just past 100%. Sport mode returns a classic BMW Speedo touch in red tones. OK. So twiddling between and studying all those myriad screens engages certain pleasure centers in this geek noggin. But how do the powertrain and chassis do it, lighting up the traditional pleasure centers when taming a twisty road? Relatively well. This engine sounds best when running at full whack up near the top of the rev range, the way it does when it is making a 6.0-second 0-60 miles per hour run, essentially matching the 530i's time. At lower middle revs it sounds a tad lawnmowery, and let's face it, the point of slipping a 111 horsepower 184 pounds-feet electric motor into the space where the 530i's torque converter lives, tucking a 9.2 kilowatt-hours battery under the rear seat and programming all those eco screens seems to be to keep drivers from caning the wee out of that engine. You can expect the EPA fuel economy numbers to improve greatly on the old 6-cylinder active hybrid 5s and 23/30 miles per gallon city highway. Chassis-wise, it weighs about 150 pounds more, which is never great for handling. Most of that rides low in the back though, so at least the weight distribution is slightly better, and the center of gravity is lower than in other 5s. Our test car was not equipped with the $1,000 dynamic damper controls or $1,150 integral active steering, so the various drive modes primarily altered throttle and transmission logic. Surprise, we like sport best. Nor did we get a chance to sample this drive-out gear, which for now is only offered on North American 530s, despite ideal conditions for doing so. Storming the wet roads wearing Michelin Pilot Alpine winter tires, the grip levels seemed impressive, body motion control was admirable, and neither my co-driver nor I managed to scare one another. The effort level of the steering seemed about right, and though we sensed little, if any road feel, it's possible the wet roads just didn't have much to say. As a car, the 530e is compromised only by its smaller fuel tank, 12.2 versus 16.9 gallons, still good for a claimed 372-mile range, and its slightly diminished trunk space, minus about 4 cubic feet, required packaging that smaller gas tank under the floor. There's also no possibility of ordering even the space-saver spare tire the 530i offers for $150. Those sacrifices seem pretty small, especially considering the mystifying price premium BMW is charging for all this FEF gear, $200, with zero deletions from the standard equipment list. So a 9.2 kilowatt-hours battery, a 111 horsepower electric motor, and all the controllers and wiring to connect them pencil out to have the option price one pays to add a $10 CMOS rear view camera to a 530i. Two-thirds the tariff demanded for CarPlay software? Less than a third of what BMW G-Keely charges for hands-free keyless entry? Well, it should easily outsell the active hybrid 5, which cost $10,700 more. So, what is it? A darn good bargain if A, you can resist its zillion packages and options, B, you feel guilty rattling around in that 4,500 square foot house just the two of you, and you're determined to make carbon amends, and C, you aren't expecting the ultimate driving 5 series.